Coming up in the next half hour, we'll take a look at those running for the governor's office and where the candidates stand when it comes to name recognition.
Part blacksmith, part veterinarian, we'll look at how one school for farriers is working to get more women in the profession.
And coming up on Break It Down, the burnout some people of color are feeling from the diversity conversation.
Cronkite News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News on Arizona PBS. I'm Erin Slindy.
And I'm Gianluca D'Elia. Thank you for joining us.
The race to replace Governor Doug Ducey is heating up. Former TV anchor and Republican Kari Lake and current Secretary of State Democrat Katie Hobbs announced in the past 24 hours they will be running for governor in 2022. Cronkite News reporter Tina Giuliano is joining us now with a look at who has early name recognition.
Over the past few days, many people, both Democrat and Republican, have announced their bids for the 2022 gubernatorial election. I spoke with the chief of research at OH Predictive Insights about their latest power rankings list and which office holders stand at the top. The 2022 gubernatorial election season is beginning to heat up here in Arizona. AZ Secretary of State Katie Hobbs announced her candidacy for the Democratic nomination today.
Secretary of State Hobbs is clearly a formidable candidate. She's already won statewide. She resonates sufficiently with the progressive wing of her party. She's been a very competent Secretary of State. Yesterday, former Fox 10 anchor Kari Lake announced her bid, joining two other Republican candidates, State Treasurer Kimberly Yee and developer Karen Taylor Robeson, who began their campaigns last month. I find Kari Lake to be an interesting, if not fascinating, candidate. OH Predictive Insights updated their power rankings list that shows people an early look at current office holders' popularity and how the races might play out. Mike Noble, the chief of research at OH Predictive Insights, said the list is based on current and future conditions.
We want to create this power rankings to show where some of the top folks that may in fact be running, where they sit and why, as we heat up for probably one of the most exciting local election years that I think any Arizona's probably ever seen.
In the top five, 2 Democrats and 3 Republicans. While current office holders like Hobbs and Yee are ranked high, newcomers like Jack McCain, son of John McCain, are also among the top.
10 years ago, if this power rankings was a thing, I think we would be very surprised to have any Democrats, let alone one, but there's 2. But I think it really shows the current status of our state as a new battleground.
Noble said since Arizona's political climate is shifting, it's important to get an early glimpse into the upcoming races.
So again, it's going to be an incredibly exciting time here in Arizona, but these names, you're already seeing multiple of them already throw their hats in the ring, and I think you might be able to expect more in the future.
The candidates for governor in Arizona thus far are Republicans Kimberly Yee, Karen Taylor Robeson, and Kari Lake, and Democrats Marco Lopez and Katie Hobbs. In the broadcast center, Tina Giuliano, Cronkite News.
The Maricopa County audit has gotten the attention of lawmakers from around the country, not just the state. 3 Pennsylvania lawmakers are visiting today to learn about the ongoing audit. 2 Pennsylvania senators and 1 congressman made the journey to the Arizona State Fairgrounds, the location of the audit. They're meeting at the state capitol today before heading over to the center of the recount. The lawmakers are meeting with audit officials to get a briefing and are touring the facility. While drawing controversy from both sides, the audit has gotten attention from GOP members who support former President Donald Trump. No matter the results of the audit, it will not change the results of President Biden's win.
According to the report from the Associated Press, more U.S. citizens are being arrested on the border in relation to drug trafficking since the start of the pandemic. Law enforcement officials say that the increase is due to the travel restrictions put in place from the pandemic, and unbalanced enforcement of the rules has been the cause. Between last October and March 31st, the number of Americans apprehended in vehicles was 7 times higher than Mexican citizens at the border. In previous years, that number was only twice as high. But even the border restrictions in place, officials at the Department of Homeland Security say the rate of narcotics coming into the country has stayed intact. Data shows about 92,000 pounds of drugs were seized between October and May this year.
This week, a hotel in the city of Scottsdale has started to be used as a temporary housing center for immigrant families. According to immigration officials, the hotel will be used to house full families who are seeking political asylum. Federal officials are looking for sponsor families or organizations to help these immigrants. ICE officials say the families are being housed in ways to fulfill requirements for the safety of the children and parents and guardians. They say families will mostly stay for about 72 hours each. The hotel being used is the Homewood Suites Hotel on Scottsdale Road and Mountain View.
Coming up on Cronkite News, we'll take a look at how some are able to combine blacksmithing with veterinarian work. We'll tell the story of how one woman works in a male-driven industry.
5, we'll have more for you on the team's remarkable win.
Cronkite News provides students at ASU's Walter Cronkite School of Journalism with the opportunity to gain real-world experience in the newsroom. At Cronkite News, our students produce professional content for audiences by taking on all roles, whether they be reporting, anchoring, producing, or studio production. Each department gives students first-hand professional newsroom experience. For more information, visit cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
Every day I wake up, my first thought is, how can I serve this community?
The biggest hurdle was not taking PTSD personally.
Would you welcome, please, the amazing.
Everybody that watches this, they say that I am the greatest that they've ever seen.
Take a journey with Arizona PBS. Join us every Sunday afternoon for Destination Drama. Watch all your favorite PBS dramas like Grantchester.
I'm William Davenport, new vicar of Grantchester.
Poldark.
Nothing in my life has meaning without you.
And Victoria.
I know that I'm young, but I know my duty.
And if you missed a recent primetime drama, we'll help you catch up on those too. Destination Drama. Every Sunday afternoon at 1. Only on Arizona PBS.
Cronkite News is more than your local news station. Through our innovative ideas, we create new ways to connect with our viewers and have their stories be heard. Our cutting-edge technology allows us to take a deeper dive into seeking the truth and delivering new perspectives. Stay up to date on top Arizona stories anytime on TikTok, Twitter, and Facebook at Cronkite News.
The task of trimming and shoeing a horse is the profession of a farrier. Faith Abercrombie went to Tucson to learn more about the male-dominated profession and the females behind it.
According to the American Farriers Journal, only about 6% of full-time farriers are female. I spoke with the Tucson School of Horseshoeing and found out what they're doing to improve this number.
Trimming and horseshoeing is a tedious task. A task that owners Brody and Darius Kruger train and certify students to do. But they also teach their students to fight the stigma that only males can be farriers.
When they're in this industry, they push. They push really, really hard because, one, they have to beat the stigma about women not being able to do these jobs.
Working with horses requires strength, patience,
easy carrot,
and a bond.
Women are generally more attention to detail and meticulous, and that's what we need in this profession.
The job of a farrier means a day in the office is spent bent over next to a 1,000-pound animal.
Your toes are pointed, your knees are bent, you try to keep your back straight. 90% of the time it just doesn't happen. End of the day, it gets tiring.
Students in farrier school could spend up to all day shoeing just one horse. They are working up to do the job a graduated farrier can complete in as little as 45 minutes.
You're not just going in and slapping shoes on a horse. You have to understand their body language. You have to understand that you have to make them comfortable to make you comfortable. It's truly a beautiful dance.
A dance that takes two to tango.
I figure if I need my horse to be calm and gentle for me to work on their feet, then I need to present that to the horse.
The physical change and mood shift in horses motivates them to be two of the less than 3,000 female farriers in the country.
There you go.
I give him a good trim or a good shoe job, and he walks away with less of a limp. It's awesome.
I shoe all of my own, and it's like, you know what? If I don't like it, I'll change it. That simple.
The Tucson School of Horseshoeing said that over the years, they have began to see more and more female students train in their farrier courses. In the studio, I'm Faith Abercrombie.
Monsoon season is right around the corner for Arizona. Last year, Arizona saw the driest monsoon season on record for the Southwest. So what does that mean for this season? Meteorologists are expecting more rain and a wetter season this year, with fewer but more intense storms. Hotter temperatures are predicted overall for the summer, which appears to be part of the trend. Experts are saying monsoon seasons have only been getting hotter, with 2020 at the highest temperatures so far and 2021 following a similar path.
The Curiosity rover has taken pictures of bright, shimmering clouds in the Martian sky. Any other color than red is rare on Mars, and especially color in clouds. Since Mars has a thin atmosphere, clouds don't happen very often. When they do, they often appear over the equator when it's colder than the elliptical orbit. The sparkling effect is caused from ice particles that are made of dry ice. The frozen carbon was likely picked up from higher altitudes of the Martian surface. Thanks to the Curiosity rover, scientists have been able to study these unexpected patterns in the frozen planet's atmosphere.
I'm Harrison Klopp. Coming up after the break, I'll have your Cronkite Sports Report. Professional athletes are starting to speak up more about their mental health. That and more after this.
Every day I wake up, my first thought is, how can I serve this community?
The biggest hurdle was not taking PTSD personally.
Would you welcome, please, the amazing.
Everybody that watches me, they say that I am the greatest that they've ever seen.
Here we go, lights up. Whoa.
As artists, we conduct our educations in public. You can never know whether it's going to be a success. One just has to risk it.
It's you and the work and the place. It's a very particular relationship.
Here's our lens. Tell us what you think.
Friday night at 9 on Arizona PBS. It's prime time on your time. Watch Prime Afternoons every weekday on Arizona PBS. Did you miss a show in the evening? Then catch up on Prime Afternoons, your favorite dramas.
No more bloody heroics.
Antiques Roadshow.
Really?
Nature and Nova.
It's time to reintroduce some wonder into this miracle of nature.
All of the best from PBS on Prime Afternoons. Weekdays starting at 1:30, only on Arizona PBS.
Ready to watch the best of PBS anytime, anywhere, on nearly any device? It's easy with the free PBS Video app. Simply download the PBS Video app on your mobile or streaming device. Now you can watch the latest PBS episodes or catch up on the shows you missed. Discover new favorites from PBS and local content from your PBS station.
News, I'm Harrison Klopp, and this is your Cronkite Sports Report. The Suns dominated Game 5 against the Lakers last night, winning the game by 30. Devin Booker led the game in scoring with 30 points, along with a surprising performance with Cameron Payne with 16. Despite such a good win for the Suns, it wasn't a game without worry for their fans. Chris Paul re-aggravated his right shoulder injury early in the second half. He would not return to the game. The Suns need just one more win to advance to the Western Conference semifinals, but they know they have a tough Game 6 ahead of them.
We understand who we're playing against. I mean, they're the defending champs. We're going back to their place. We got to be solid when we go back there. And closeout games are really hard.
Sticking with basketball in the Valley, the Mercury won their game against the Chicago Sky last night thanks to a last-second buzzer beater by Phoenix guard Kia Nurse. The team has now won 2 of their last 3 games and will return for a 4-game home stretch.
We were down 10 really late in that game. And I think one of the things that we kept talking about was we're still in the game. We're still in the game as long as we get stops and we go down the other end and we get scores, we get to the free throw line, and we slow the clock down a little bit. And I think everybody contributed in a number of different ways.
Phoenix Mercury were among several athletes to speak out in support of tennis star Naomi Osaka, who recently pulled out of the French Open, citing her struggle with mental health. Cronkite News reporter Aaron Slindy takes a closer look at the debate on how athletes are treated by sports leagues and the media.
When Naomi Osaka withdrew from the French Open, the sports world erupted with conversations about how organizations and the media are supporting athletes' mental health. Osaka was fined by Roland Garros for opting out of the tournament's media obligations. The second-ranked player in the world tweeted that she suffered from bouts of depression and needed to protect herself.
Particularly where she is in the spotlight like that and having to, talk in front of millions of people. I can imagine that that's probably the worst possible scenario for her.
Osaka's tweet drew an outpour of support from fellow athletes, including Phoenix Mercury's Brianna Turner.
I feel like people were just kind of looking at athletes as just like for their entertainment value and not for their actual human aspect. We're humans first, athletes second.
Although many supported Osaka for taking a stand and putting her health first, others cited her for contractual responsibility to talk to the press during tournaments. It raises a new debate about player obligations and whether or not they should be allowed to have more control.
I'm really grateful that she came forth with her full story so that people aren't speculating about, her reasons to step away and whatnot.
Osaka says she is taking time away from the court, but hopes to have more meaningful discussions on how players can be better supported in the future. Aaron Slindy, Cronkite News.
That's all today for our Cronkite Sports Report. Let's send it back to Aaron and John Luca.
That's it for Cronkite News tonight.
Thanks for joining us. Break It Down is next.